Welcome to Change the World, your world. No, it's not Change Your World, it's You Change the World. Welcome to You Change the World. And this is a special edition because you don't see this red microphone on my right or on my left, but you hear me because I use my computer to record this one. It's not a live event today, but just a few words. You see this on YouTube and on LinkedIn, on Facebook, as well as X, Twitter, and Instagram. You also see this on the podcast of um, different channels. It's on the podcast of, as it's called, I don't remember the name of those applications. The truth today about being, I don't even know what I'm talking about today. I'm sorry. I am talking about today. Yeah. So let's start again. Start again. Welcome to You Change the World without my red microphone today. And you can still see this podcast on LinkedIn. Oh my gosh, I'm just really okay. Welcome to. All right, welcome to You Change the World without my red microphone today. I wanted to welcome here on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on X Twitter, and on what else did I? Facebook, and as well as all the different podcast channels that we are diffusing. We are distributing this particular recording, and it's not good either. So I'm going to try now going to do the third one or fourth one. Uh, Welcome to You Change the World without my red microphone, but still on the different channels of YouTube, of LinkedIn, Instagram, X, Twitter, and Facebook, and really also the podcast channels. And really, thank you, Spotify, Apple, Amazon. Thank you for being a faithful, um, you know, auditor, no auditor, a faithful audience. And hopefully, we'll grow this audience if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, especially. Okay, today I want to just say a few words about toxicity and growth mindset. This is, of course, different things that we can prepare ourselves, but definitely make decisions about. And that's about determination. It's about tenacity, and it's about resilience as well. We have those qualities when we lead because we take responsibility and accountability. And when we do that, obviously, we make a big decision. And the decision is I put forward my core values and I make sure that I express them and communicate them efficiently to all the different stakeholders I'm dealing with at every level, even if it's outside my scope, if it is a contractor, if it's a supplier, a partner of my company, any aspect of interactions that I have with anyone in the world. I make sure that I make a statement that when if you deal with me, a couple of things you need to know. One main one and core one that I have to remind people in the coaching space that they really should really remember about, if it is truly one of their value, but it should be, I think, in a way, is that they do not tolerate negativity and toxicity. This zero tolerance, zero for negativity, when you make that statement clear, people who are coming with this kind of mindset will feel bad and will feel excluded. And that's where there's no inclusion at all. That's a full and total entire exclusion. You make it clear, and you're totally entitled when you're a manager or when you're a leader, you are totally entitled to tell the person eye to eye, and especially not in front of anyone else, just an eye to eye, one on one meeting that will take 2 minutes or three to just make that statement and a condition, a policy, a boundary of steel, of iron, that you're not going to let anyone violate. And it is the one about toxicity. It's people who come to your meetings with the intention to sabotage everything or to be a disruptor. And this person comes with an intention that is not usually a positive one. There is nothing that can justify someone influencing other parties about saying bad things about others or about you, the leader. There's nothing that will be constructive if you let someone spread negativity, depression, any kind of reason that could be personal to that individual, that it would be brought into that space will affect everyone, will poison the atmosphere, will make it a failure for you, the leader, and for everyone in the room. Now, when it's a team, it's a different story because it's a day-to-day situation. That's much more severe. We have to now address the person, document, and tell the person with a warning, and sometimes really an HR warning, that this is not tolerable. But when it's about your meeting, something that you do that is yours, your meeting, when you call people to a space and that person comes and occupies the space to generate negativity, you have to tell the person to leave. It doesn't mean you're going to fire the person. It's not a layoff. It's not someone you're going to fire. It's just someone you're going to tell. You go back to your office, to your desk, you go back home, you think about this, but you do not affect your peers or anyone in the room. You are excluded from my meeting because I don't want this kind of mindset and energy in my space. Is it clear? Can you make that clear? You can be very low key, very introverted. You never make clear statements of that nature. You never make it clear to people with this loud voice and this clear boundary. And you pay the price for this every single second of your life. You need to put that boundary out there. It is the first day you meet with that person. It is when you interview that person, or if you inherit a team, the first meeting you have with this person, there is not 1 minute you're going to leave the space after getting introduced and talking about the pleasure you have now to have this team that you are going to lead proudly and everything, without making a few points about this particular boundary. Call it a policy, call it a contingency for you to be part of my team. But I will not tolerate negativity and toxicity. And I go straight to the point. I'm not making any theory. I'm not quoting anybody here or any books. I don't give you any resource or references. I tell you this as the coach that sees everybody suffer because this lack of boundary and this lack of clarity makes people's life miserable. And this is why I just want to make that statement extremely clearly to you today, this week, for You Change the World weekly point of view. When I just talk about coaching or about quality of life or quality of leadership, and when I really know that everybody of you who are watching and listening are definitely having an impact in the world to the extent that whatever you do, you change the world. And if you are setting those boundaries clearly, your impact will be phenomenal, infinite. It will always have, this incredible legacy moving forward, generation after generation, that you're not tolerating something that is so importantly toxic and cannot allow anybody to be constructive, productive, or successful. And you set people for success because you know that by doing that, you are going to be successful. Now, of course, success is a word that can be, meaning a lot of things. But I think that if there is one thing that success can mean, is to have a well put together team and group of people who enjoy working with each other, who come to work, with a very good mindset, a growth mindset, because they want everything to grow themselves first, the company, their team, whoever they manage or they work with. It's unbelievably true and it's unbelievably key, the magical formula, right? For the ride that you want to have with other people, for the journey that you are engaging into with a client, with anybody that you are dealing with. And you know what? At the end of the day, with your family, with your dear ones, you want to do the same. You want to keep the mindset positive, and it is not so difficult because when you make that clear, it's clear to everybody. Let me make a last point. because this one comes up also every day, and that's about role clarity. If you do not allow people to connect to their purpose, to their mission, if you're not reminding them that it is the core of everything, that they are coming to work for a reason, they've been chosen for the role that they play for a reason, and you reconnect them to all of these aspects. Oh, you remember the day I interviewed you? Well, I had 10 candidates, 8 contenders for that position that showed up, that were very qualified. And I chose you. We chose you. We were a panel of people. We all agreed. You were the candidate. You were the person for the job. Why? Well, I'll tell you why if you don't remember. I'll tell you why we chose you. And then you have this thing that is coming back as soon as you feel you're an imposter, or you feel bad about something, or you feel not up to the level or to the expectation. Remember the day you were hired. Remember the day when you were really told what is your purpose, what is your mission. How do I correlate the two subjects today between role clarity and positive mindset? And in leadership, how much you have to set a boundary so that everybody's clear, crystal clear about what you tolerate and don't tolerate. I think that's what leadership is about. Maybe it's your authority to a certain extent because you own that team. You own that moment. You own that space when you meet with them for the weekly, update or for whatever you do with the team. But when you address them collectively, it has even more impact than when you see them one on one. But nonetheless, whichever setting you're into, you are making this clear and you remind them obsessively if you have to remind them obsessively. And it's like a caricature. You put it on bold and bold and bold. You repeat, you repeat, you repeat until your people start to get the point. It will never be ambiguous. And now the VUCA situations with volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, that is a result especially of the post-COVID, world where we lived in, but we're still in the post-COVID world because we still now, for many of us, work from home. We are virtual. We teach virtually, as I do, asynchronously. It's a world that we did not know would happen anytime in our lives, that we are not in contact, in touch directly with people in front of us. This is why there is a need of exaggeration in your communication. You need to always try to have an acknowledgement that your message has been received. This is what good communication is. A communication, I always compare it to a gift. It's an act of giving. You're giving a message. You're making a statement. You want people to understand something you want to generate out there and them to receive. If you're not checking that they receive your email or they receive your message while they are right in front of you and you don't have this acknowledgement, communication is not efficient yet. And when it's about important stuff like that, where you have set a condition, a contingency, that you are not going to tolerate negativity in your group, in your space, you're not going to. It's zero tolerance. If you don't make the point clear, how is it going to happen? You're going to be already surprised a week later or 6 months later that someone is going to show up and do exactly that. It's an infection. It's contagious. It's bad. That's your vaccine. That's your immunity. You need to make sure that your communication works. Okay, I'm going to leave you with this paradox, uh, no, this analogy about toxicity, about immunity, and about positivity, being overwhelming everything there to make you win and make that team a high performing team, or your family a high performing family, a well balanced family, and bring harmony to the world. Thank you very much for listening and see you later. Bye. See you next week.